Hey everybody, Larry Lawton here. Here's a great video. This video is going to be about Cain Velasquez, who was arrested for attempted murder. If you don't know who Cain Velasquez is, a UFC heavyweight champ of the world, 2010 and 2012. And we're going to talk about him and his case that just happened. Before I get started, please check us out on YouTube member programs, Patreon member program, Discord. Please check out merch out. You know, I have one of my best shirts here. 3 can keep a secret if 2 are dead. Of course, I love my logos. Gangster Redemption, baby. Great book. All right, let me jump into this video, because you know, these are the kind of cases that I like to touch on, because there's a couple of aspects of them that people don't know. First of all, I'm gonna go into the case, and then I'm gonna go what happens in prison for both of them. Let me tell you what happened. A week ago, Cain Velasquez was arrested earlier that week for attempted murder in San Jose. He's facing 10 charges, including attempted premeditated murder, and he's the former UFC heavyweight champ of the world. And according to MMA Junkie, Velasquez was also charged with shooting in a motor vehicle or aircraft, 1 count, assault with a firearm, 3 counts, assault with a deadly weapon, 3 counts, willfully discharging a firearm from a vehicle, 1 count, and carrying a loaded firearm with the intent to commit a felony, 1 count. He could face up to 20 years to life in prison if convicted. Now, obviously, the #1 charge there is the attempted murder. Let me tell you what happened. Velasquez, 39, was arrested February 28th and allegedly chasing down the man, Harry Eugene Goulart, who is being charged with molesting a young relative of Velasquez and shooting a gun into Goulart's vehicle, per the Santa Clara County District Attorney. It's a California case. Velasquez was arrested in San Jose last week after he chased a pickup carrying the man through busy streets in 3 Silicon Valley cities, ramming the vehicle with his own pickup truck during an 11-mile high-speed chase, prosecutors said. Velasquez, 39, fired a .40 caliber pistol at the vehicle several times, wounding the man's stepfather, who was driving, in his arm and torso, prosecutors said. Celebrity attorney Mark Garagos, that's who's attorney for Cain, who is representing Cain, told reporters outside the court that he plans on vindicating his client and getting him back with his family, the Mercury News reported. Wow, Garagos, that's pretty deep stuff. The other guy, Velasquez, also rammed his Ford. He had a Ford 250 into the side of a Silverado. I could have seen this chase, a Ford and a Silverado going high speed, hitting each other, guns fired. It must have been something out of a fucking movie. Goulart is facing felony charges of molesting a child, the Santa Clara District Attorney's Office said. Multiple reports said the child is a relative of Velasquez. Police allege that Goulart touched the child inappropriately multiple times while working at a child care facility run by Goulart's mother. Goulart lives in the same building as the facility. Goulart was arraigned February 25th in Santa Clara County Superior Court. The judge granted supervised release. The district attorney's office said in a statement that is objected to that and has objected to that decision. The DA's office said that Goulart was scheduled to pick up an electronic monitoring bracelet the day of the shooting. Velasquez, found out, initiated an 11-mile high-speed chase through San Jose, trying to track down Goulart. Goulart's stepfather, Paul Bender, was wounded in the arm and torso during the chase. He is expected to survive. Velasquez's next court date is March 23rd, which we will report on. His arraignment, which will include a hearing on bail, was delayed Wednesday to March 7th. This is the early reports. Here is the news. He will remain jailed until then. It's kind of normal that happens. You remain in bail until... Some charges have a specific bail set, and it could be a robbery, it could be armed robbery. They have a bail. Some you have to appear in front of a judge, just the way they do it. Obviously, people in the MMA community praise Velasquez on social media for his actions, and I never want to praise somebody for their actions while they're so wrong. Although we might understand them, although we might think they're okay, it's hard for me to support illegal activity anymore. I sure do get it. News out yesterday, judge denies bail to ex-UFC fighter Cain Velasquez charged in shooting. Cain Velasquez sits with his attorney Mark Garagos during a hearing Monday at the Santa Clara County Hall of Justice in San Jose. A judge denied bail to the former UFC champ, who was charged with attempted murder and multiple counts of gun assault. A judge in California denied bail Monday to former two-time UFC champ Cain, who was charged with attempted murder and multiple counts of gun assault after authorities said he fired a pickup truck and carrying a man accused of sexually abusing a 4-year-old family member. So I'm going to get into this case here in a little bit and tell you what's going to happen to both people in jail. Very sad case. Sadly, if what you read is true, and it's going to be hard for Garagos to get out of this one, I don't know how he can vindicate his client, except for the fact that you do the same thing. But then it's not his kid, it's a relative's kid. Why did he snap? I think there's going to be more stuff coming out about this case. But I get it. I really get it. This scumbag molested a 4-year-old child. Now, obviously, I don't know if that guy is going to prison or he got out on a monitoring system, which it boggles my mind how a guy who molests somebody can get out on bond and a guy who has attempted murder. And just see, the only reason you should deny bail in the United States is 2 reasons. It's you're a flight risk and or you're a threat to the community. He's not a threat to the community. He's not a random violence guy. He's not going out robbing a bank. He's not doing something crazy where he's gonna, threaten the community. It was a targeted incident, so he should not be a threat to the community, and I don't even think they can bring that up. Now, as far as a flight risk, I don't know. I don't know because Cain Velasquez, I think it's from obviously another country. Does he have the means and resources to go to that country and live underground? Does that country not have a extradition treaty? I don't know. I still think they get bond. I'm a big believer in the bond system. I think everybody deserves bond until you're convicted. Obviously, those 2 reasons, if you're a flight risk or a threat to the community. The flight risk on drug cases always had me laughing. Let him go. In my eyes, El Chapo, I'd give him $100 million cash bail. $50 million. He makes it and jumps, so what? I got $50 million. And I'm not paying to house this asshole. That's my views. But let me get to the case itself. Anybody who molests anybody else, obviously child molestation is very dear and near to my heart because I had issues. And as being abused at a young age, you put things behind you and you start compartmentalizing that it's that one individual. And, I went through my whole shit, and I'm sure I still go through it a lot today. I think a lot of the things I did and do are because of that. At least that's what some psychologist said. Is it true? Who the fuck knows? But I don't make excuses. If I did something wrong, I should be held accountable. I don't say I robbed jewelry stores because of that and made, get me out of something. No, I don't believe in that either. So, in that case, I think it's so fucked up. Now, this guy who, listen, I never will get the mindset of somebody who is having sexual relations in any way with a prepubescent person, whether it's a boy or a girl. It's fucking sick. I don't even get under 18, it's funny, if I talk to anybody in any kind of relationship situation, I gotta have an ID if I even think they're under 21. Just Larry. And I'm very adamant about that because I don't want any kind of charge or bullshit or shit that happens in that. Not that I'm doing anything, not that I'm out looking like that, but what the fuck goes through your mind? What goes through your mind when you molest a 4-year-old? I mean, are those people that fucking mentally off? Listen, I always told you I'm a very liberal person, especially in social liberal. I don't care about drugs, do them all you want. Sex, have the best sex in the world, guys, girls. You know, I'm a LGBTQ, all the acronyms supporter in a big way. You know, I believe in gay marriage, I believe in abortion, and I'm not here to argue with religious people or anybody else. It's just my beliefs. All my beliefs are very open to people to do what they want. But I always say this: legally, not underage, and respect other people. You know, you might live in your property here, and you might have a backyard, and you can walk around naked and jerk off in your backyard. You got a fence, but if you know there's a hole in there, and there could be kids or there could be somebody there, and you still do it, even though you might be able to get away with it because you're in your yard, you didn't know the fucking thing was a hole in the fence. That's bullshit. You know, that's just common sense. Doesn't make sense to me. It really doesn't. Now, let's go back to both people. What do I think is going to happen to Cain Velasquez? He's going to have a hard fight. He's got a great lawyer, Mark Garagos. He's got a great lawyer. But how do you vindicate somebody who is seen multiple times shooting at a window? You're going to have witnesses. You're going to have cameras from stores or wherever it's going by. And Chase this guy's rammed his truck. They're going to have all the forensic evidence. And shooting a gun into another vehicle. It's an actual charge in California, obviously. And it boggles my mind. And I understand why it's a charge. Because if you miss and you hit another car, you miss and you hit somebody else like they did. He hit and got the stepfather. And he's innocent. I mean, obviously, I think he's innocent. I hope he's innocent. No reason to believe he isn't. He's just giving a ride to somebody that I'm sure has the, excuses and what. But you don't know what you'd do for your family either. But it blows me away why he would go crazy like this. And I get it, it's a 4-year-old relative. Does not say it's his daughter. Or son. I don't even say if it was a male or female. And that boggles my mind. That really does boggle my mind. I could see the outrage in me with my daughter. If that happened to my daughter or son. I often say this. One of the biggest fears I had when I was in prison on the inside was something happening to my children when I was inside and I couldn't get to the person. Because it was a big fear of mine. I'd come out and kill him. And now I look at this Vasquez, and obviously he doesn't understand the system, because when this guy, Gallart, goes to prison, and if they convict him on what it is, and I also want to double check that. There's a lot of false accusations against people with kids for whatever reason. So I want to make sure this has been caught on tape, caught the right way, and prosecuted, and let the public see exactly what happened, because that's a tough charge. And if you're innocent on that charge, and people want to believe that the worst usually, then it's a tough one. But if they have films or medical examiner stuff or whatever it is, pictures, that kind of stuff, then they're guilty. Now, when they go to prison, this guy, I'm going to the guy who got shot, he didn't get shot. The guy in the car got shot. The father-in-law got shot, but was shot at by Cain Velasquez. When you go to prison and you have a charge of child molestation, child abuse, or underage, now they'll have the charge number, because a guy like me is going to pull his paperwork, and it's going to have a note. I'm going to look it up. The code number is for under 12. Man, once I saw that, it was rough for me to even fucking read and rough for me not to say something about somebody. Again, I never gave a fuck if a guy is 19, 20, 22 and the girl is 17. Just didn't, that was a given. It's just the way we did it, and that was a given. Whatever age you're at, you gotta be smart. But you got a 19-year-old dating a 17-year-old, don't tell me that's a fucking crime. I mean, that's how whacked out common sense has got in our criminal justice system. But this guy going to prison, if he's convicted, will have the worst time of his life. No matter what he tries to say and do, he's going to get in. My brother, and you all know him, was in prison, and they put a pedophile in his cell. He says, get him out of here. I don't want this scumbag in my cell. They told him, fuck you, Lawton. You don't run the prison. He went back, put a fucking lock on a belt, and beat that guy down. Now, that guy was a big guy, but my brother beat him down. And I get it. Because when you're in prison and it's you in the cell with somebody, it's your duty to take care of the situation, not somebody else's. And my brother took care of business, as they say. They ended up transferring him to a higher security prison. He didn't give a shit. He did not give a shit. He's not going to fucking live with a pedophile, and I don't blame him. So he did the right thing in my mind. Now, going on, he's going to go to a prison, this guy, and even a medium gang prisoner, he's going to get fucked up. They're going to be a guy like me in there who's going to pull paperwork, and they're going to find out what this fucking guy did, and someone's going to kick his teeth in, and they're going to throw him off the tier, or they're going to fuck him up royally. It's just the way it's going to happen. And I don't give a fuck how tough the guy might think he is. That never works, because they'll gang jump you, they'll fucking hit you from behind, fucking stab you coming out of the shower. A lot of different ways to fucking get to somebody in prison. Now, let's jump to Cain Velasquez in prison. Now, Cain, who the fuck is gonna fuck with him? The UFC heavyweight champ of the world. That's a tough motherfucker. Again, as I always say, I never feared the biggest guy in prison, because a knife works just as good, or a lock over the head, fucking crack. I see 6'6", 300-pound fighters go down and not fucking do shit, because they were beaten and their head was split open with a fucking lock. That's how they did, put on a belt or in a sock. And I used to put 2 socks. And fucking crack. Just think of a lock in a sock. It's done. Or on the end of a belt. I didn't like the end of the belt because I've seen those pull, because they're only combination locks. I've seen them pull apart from a belt with really vicious hitting. I've never seen a lock come out of a sock unless it breaks, and that's why you put 2 socks, and you will fuck that guy up. Simple as that. I mean, that's a given. Now, but for this guy, he's going to go into prison being somewhat of a hero. Believe it or not, people are going to respect him. Not because of his fighting, because what he did. Obviously, he's a known person, so it's going to get into the prison. Oh, you know who's here? Cain Velasquez just got to the prison. He's being processed. He's in R&D. It's going to happen around the whole yard. And, people go, who's Cain? Some people say, who's Cain Velasquez? And someone else will say, man, he was the heavyweight champ of UFC and 10 and 12. And again, I have a feeling this guy, Cain Velasquez, is going to come in and be humble and do his stuff. He's going to, and that's my suggestion to him. Don't think you're going to fucking beat everybody up in there. That's not how prison works. And he's going to fucking go in there. But, he did a crime. We call him an honorable crime. This guy fucked up a pedophile. I've done it. I pulled the paperwork and watched them fucking get thrown off tiers. And I always was worried about me getting caught into a conspiracy. Thank God nobody got killed. Because I would have been. I would have been in a conspiracy for murder. And that's crazy. So my take on all this is he's going to go in as a hero. Now, what time is he going to get? I think they're going to make a deal. I think that's what Garagos is saying. First of all, let me give 2 more predictions. I think after the next bail hearing, I think they're going to get bail. I think they're going to work on, because you don't get denied bail and that's just quit. You know, in a few more months, you might have more information, and you reapply to the judge, and you have a hearing for a bail hearing. I think, especially a case like this that could drag on. You know, cases don't go through the system quick. So if you're innocent, obviously, whatever, and you're in a county jail, you'd think these prosecutors would give a fuck and say, man, you know, let's get this innocent guy out. But it's sad. It doesn't work that way. I think I did a podcast or a YouTube or something where I talked about how a store owner can protect his store. But I digress. I'm gonna go back to what's gonna happen to Cain Velasquez. He's gonna get into. I hope he gets into shape. I hope he gets does his time, whatever time he does, and I'm gonna hope it's not a lot. I definitely don't think he's getting crazy time. I'd take it to a jury, and then here's your issue. You can take it to a jury. If you don't win the case, you're going to jail. And then they're going to have a guidelines. And again, I don't believe in that. I believe a judge should have the leeway for a downward departure. And I'm sure they're going to bring people in that say he snapped mentally because of this, and he was hit in the head as a fucking fighter and he snapped. They're really good excuses. And I do believe that he's either going to do very little time or no time at all. There's no way he's getting 20 years. I'd bet anybody there. He's not getting 20 years. I don't think, if he murdered him, I don't think he'd get 20 years. I really don't. Obviously, he was stupid. And he fell off the handle and he blacked out. Now, could it be from concussions? You know, there's a lot of science saying, yeah, from Hernandez to people, you know, they're get fucked up. And then so many concussions, I just think it ruins your brain. So, getting back to him, he's going to do his time, if it's a very small amount of time, hopefully come out a better man. I don't believe he did what he should do. I think he should have got the conviction and let that guy rot in jail. You want to do something stupid, fucking send him fucking some bullshit. So, they have mail call in prison. They don't bring you your mail to your cell. They call it out after count. So after 4 o'clock count, they start unlocking, and the units get wait for chow. And usually the guard unlocks all the door and then screams, mail call. Everybody goes out and shuffles on out, and they get mail call. I had a lawyer friend of mine used to send fucking pictures of fat fucking ladies and hot guys or whatever, in a postcard to fuck with me. And people would see him and they'd fucking laugh and shit. And but I think there's other ways they could have messed with this guy and got better revenge, if you want to call it that. And I'm not a revenge seeker. Remember that. I'm not a revenge seeker. Punishment is losing your family and your freedoms. I don't know. I'd like to know the exact what happened. Like, did he rape this kid? Did he do something really bad? Did he I hate to say just fondle him. Whatever he did, it was terrible. It's going to leave lasting impressions on that young person who's 4 years old. And that's the guy who's a scumbag and should be in prison for fucking 20 years or more. Now, and he's not. Sadly, he's not going to get that. But then you go to this guy here, Cain Velasquez. He's going to get convicted, and obviously he didn't do the right thing. He didn't have the whether it's resources or not to send something out there. I think he could have, because he's a smart young guy. But it is what it is, and they all were talking crazy shit, because I watched the show about them. They were fucking pretty wild teams on this new show, and they were getting into some shit. I can even see fights. I can see shit being annoying to other people. I know. I lived with a person in a cell. I told you, I smashed his whole face into the concrete wall where he broke his nose and everything. He just fell down in a lump. The guard came by, looked at this, and goes, "Oh, fuck, Lawton." Turn around, cuff up. And I was taken to the hole. Anyway, everybody, I hope you got my perspective on Cain Velasquez and this other fucking jerk-off. I don't even like to mention his name, because the more you mention his name, the more you give him some kind of credibility. He's a piece of shit. How about this? A piece of shit who molested a 4-year-old. I have zero sympathy, so I do not feel for him in any way. Anyway, everybody, have a great day. Please pass this on. We're trying to get to 1.5 million and then 2 million subscribers within a year. You know, as a YouTuber, they slow down, but with great fans and great people who are followers, please pass this on. Put it on your Facebook page, put it on your social media, whatever that is, LinkedIn or wherever, and maybe we can get more viewers, and I hope we can. So, people, have a great day. Stay safe, please. Make good choices. See you soon.